A ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Whoa, did I make a mistake? It was around 2005 or 2006. My family and I went to an arts and crafts show in Dahlonega, Georgia. My mom had a booth there and it was a weekend kind of deal. We got there a day early to set up, but the following day, it was around noon. I decided I was going to go walk around and look at other people's booths and to go try to find some food. There was this like really unique street with some like local mom and pop shops. I decided that I was going to go walk down, see what they had to offer. You know, it's a little quaint town, kind of looked like it was straight out of a movie. So I started going down the street to these stores and I came across this one shop that looked really interesting. It had like muted earth tones, kind of not vibrant at all. There were store closing signs, and it kind of looked like a bookstore. So I was like, okay, I'll go in and check this out, see what's going on. So I walk in and I'm greeted by this lady who's wearing all black. She has like this lace sleeves that go like all the way down and it goes like over her fingers. Anyway, she had like a goth vibe, neither here nor there, but that's kind of the vibe of the whole place. So I walked around, I started looking at the books, and I noticed that most of them were all like witchcraft books, and there were like a lot of those healing crystals. And anyway, so none of that really interests me. I was getting ready to leave and the lady stopped me and she said, hey, did you go look at the back room? And I said, no, I didn't see a back room. And she said, right over there. And she pointed to these like really big ornate red curtains. And she was like, yeah, it's just back there. So I said, okay, well, I'll go check it out, see what's back there. So I walked back there and she followed like closely behind me and she said, hey, I want to show you something. And I said, okay, sure. And she takes me over to this triangle that's on a stand. This triangle is wooden and it has like this eye carved into the center. Around the eye was the alphabet and numbers 0 through 9. Around the outside of the triangle, there's like this dial with this pointer. And one could assume that the pointer was to like spell out words. It looked kind of similar to a Ouija board, but in triangular form, if that makes any sense. But anyway, the lady asked me if I wanted to try something fun, which I said, sure. So she asked me to think of a question, but don't give it to her. Don't say it out loud. She told me to look at the triangle, look like right into the eye of the triangle and think of the question, but really focus and think of the question. And then she said that she would leave me for a little bit and come back and check on me. So I did. I looked straight into the triangle eye and looked and thought of my question. And I did this for a few minutes. Nothing happened. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I'm the biggest skeptic of these things anyway. So I didn't believe anything was going to come from it. But as I was about to walk off, the dial starts moving on its own. Now, remind you, she did tell me not to touch the triangle. Everything had to be done like on its own. So without any interference by me whatsoever. I looked at the triangle. The dial starts moving. It goes to the letter M and then proceeds to spell out my name, Michael. It did that all by itself. That super freaked me out. And I was just kind of dumbfounded that this was actually real. So I stayed there for probably an hour, like asking different questions to this thing. And every single time it got them right and it was moving on its own. I was super enamored by this thing at this point. And I was like, okay, I need to go get my mom and my sister so they can vouch for me that I'm not crazy and that this is actually doing this on its own and answering the questions. So I decide that I'm going to leave and go get them. But as I start to leave, this triangle starts moving again, trying to keep me there, I guess. But I didn't ask it any questions this time. It started asking me questions. It asked me if I wanted to know my future. It asked me if I wanted to know the day that I would die. Then it asked me if I wanted to be friends. To which I said no to all of them. No, thank you. No. But anyway, against my better judgment, I went and got my mom and my sister. They did not want to come with me at first. They thought I was weird for like even going in there in the first place, and I shouldn't be going into witchcraft, blah, blah, whatever. Anyway, but I was so convicted and serious in what had happened that my mom and sister came along against their better judgment as well. So they come back in the store with me. The lady greets us. She's like, "Oh, I know why you're here." And I go walk to the back of the store. I take my mom and my sister over. My sister's the first one to give it a try. She looks into the eye. I explain everything. Don't touch it. Just think of your question. And she asked, like, how old am I? Like, in her mind, she thought it. And it gave the answer. She was freaked out. She said, "Done. I'm done with this." So then my mom thought that, like, my sister and I were playing a prank. So she was like, "Okay, I'm going to give this a try. I don't believe either of you. Like, this is ridiculous." So she does it, and she asked what the name of her parents were, and it gave it to her. So by this point, she was freaked out. My mom and my sister were like, "Peace out. We're leaving. Bye." I decided to stay and play around with it for a little bit longer, just because I was just so like into it at this point. The lady, the shop owner, I guess, she comes up to me and she says that she can tell that the triangle has built a connection to me, and she wanted to offer it to me for free. Take it with me. And I told her, "No, thank you. I really don't need to get any more involved with this than I already have." And she said, "This may be a long-term decision that you will regret." And I was like, well, that's kind of threatening, but no thanks. I really don't. I appreciate it, but no thanks. So I leave. She tells me bye. I say bye to her. Then the next day, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I will go back and get it, and I'll take it and show my friends, so my friends will know that I'm not crazy when I tell them this story. I go back, I walk over to the store, and the store is gone. There's no signs, there's no product, there's nothing in this store, and on top of that, it looks like it's been run down and been sitting there for a very long time. What? Okay, that's weird. So most people would say that their story ends at this point, and that was just a weird thing that happened. This was just the beginning. All of this started happening around 2005. Until this very day, things are still happening. Stay tuned. I have more stories. It gets way crazier from here.